Hey, oh, here we go. We're live.
What's up, guys? Shawn Bowen, Full Circle Investment Group and wholesalingoutofthebox.com back in for another lunchtime live. So, guys, as you're joining us today, please click that button above. Let StreamYard tell us where you're coming from, and we can see you on Facebook. Always, for those people that are listening later, leave us feedback and comments here of some things that you might recommend from today's episode, which we will be talking about. What is it like to find lenders to work with on your projects, right? So if you go from wholesaling to rehabbing and buy and holds, what does that look like? How do you vet a buyer, or let's say vet a lender, right? And be able to take them a good deal to show them why they should lend on it. And what's expected from you as the borrower to put in front of a lender so that they have all the information, knowing that they're going to underwrite it themselves, right? But you want to go in with this to know just basic information, okay? So again, guys, as you're joining us, please click that link above so we can see who you are and write questions to us or interact with us while we're live doing this episode today. But yeah, let's get into it. So the progression of being a wholesaler would be from wholesaling to rehabbing, from rehabbing to buying holds, landlord-ish, and then stepping up to I just want to lend money, right? And that's kind of where we want to talk to you about what we're doing, which is we always do the wholesaling. We've done fix and flips. We're getting back into the fix and flip game a little bit more heavier. We've always done buying holds, which is a lending position in the middle. And so we want to work with people and show you what we're looking for to work with you. And if you don't work with us, what does it look like to go work with another lender? Right? So what do you need to present to those people? First, let's decide or figure out if they're actually real. Right? Let's get a proof of funds letter showing that they have the money to actually do it, just like you would a buyer. Let's see that. And then let's work into what are they going to want to see to know that this is a good deal, right? So if you're inexperienced to begin with, your loan to value is going to be a little bit lower. You're going to be between the 65, maybe 70% loan to value. Your knowledge just isn't there yet, okay? But what they're going to want to know is, what is the ARV? Right? And from the wholesaling knowledge, you'll have known that. From the rehabbing side, you should have known that based on what you learned to estimate rehab at, right? Big ticket numbers. You're going to want to get a detailed scope of work, or at least a really close layout of what it's going to cost to get the job done. For the reno side, what are all your holding costs, right? And then what is your sales cost to pay off all your fees, right? Pay off your lending fee, pay off your agent fees, anything it took to hold the job while you're doing it. And then what's your net profit estimated to be? Okay. So a list that I made here was knowing that your LTV is a big piece of this, right? Majority of the time, you're probably contracting up between 65 to 75% loan to value anyway. So you should already have that in your wheelhouse. After that, you need to know that majority of lenders are going to give you 90% of the purchase price and then 100% of rehab, which is also paid out in draws. So as you're going through the project and you meet your scope of work criteria, they will send a draw after pictures and confirming that you got the work done, right? So it's never, in most scenarios, if you're not experienced, it's never just, hey, here's a lump sum of money, we hope you get it done. So it's a very protected type thing. And then knowing all of your numbers to be able to break this down and show it to a lender. What does it look like when you're going to have a sheet that would be in a lender package and say, here's my loan to value sheet with all my costs and figures associated to show all numbers. Here's a layout of comps. Here's a layout of scope of work that's going to be done, which is how I came up with my rehab budget. And then here's what I'm going to sell it for, all my numbers to show why this is a good deal. So having all of this and being prepared to getting to the lender when you first go to it is going to get you 1, 2, 3, 4 steps above the other people that don't, right? So you not knowing your numbers is going to be a big issue already, but look at those lenders as a safety net, right? If you're going to work with us, look at it as though we're going to protect the money. We're going to make sure that the money is going in the correct direction at the right time, not over leveraged, and all the paperwork that's needed to make sure that you're safe, right? We as the lenders want to make sure that we're protecting our money just as much as we're protecting your profit, right? Because if you don't make any profit, you're probably going to walk away from the job. So the idea here is to keep all those numbers very tight and give yourself a little bit of fudge factor, right? So in your rehab budget, maybe give yourself a 10, 15% overage, right? So if you're saying it's $40,000, call it 44. Okay. What's the oops number? Okay. And then give yourself your comps at the bottom end of the market. What does that look like if you have to fire sale this property? Bare minimum, you don't make a dime, but you get the lender's money back to them and they're willing to lend you again. Why? Because you did what you said you were going to do. You got through the project, you finished it up, you got them back their money and their interest, and they want you to go do it again. This now gives you the chance to fix your numbers, okay? Make sure your numbers are being done correctly for the next job. So super quick talk today was basically saying, what does it look like when you're trying to find a lender, right? So going to look at records, right? Going to go to properties where you've seen other people are doing the jobs, right? Where you might have a specific type of lender. Hard money lenders in the area, who are they, right? So local REIA groups. Nowadays, because of COVID, we're talking about local groups online where you're starting to do some networking and asking for those lenders, right? Be very leery of the online lenders, right? Those are ones where you got the .com letter. They're telling you they need $2, $3, $4 grand up front in order to even underwrite the deal. And then if it doesn't make sense, you lost that money. That's not very typical in most scenarios, right? Remember, you're providing an opportunity. The opportunity has to make sense in order to be one, but your opportunity is to that person to be able to let them move their money. Okay. So they're making a good return. You're getting into it with a small investment, and then you're making some money, but very, very tight on your numbers so that as you're going to talk to these people, you know how to present a project. You know what that looks like. Okay. So again, get into your local REIA groups, get into your local Facebook groups, find some guys that are doing rehabs currently and ask them if you can bring them a deal and partner with them on it somehow. What if you decide to take a little bit of a wholesale fee up front and maybe leave a portion of that on the back end of it? That I'd be willing to do that as well. What does that look like? Do you have guys that would be willing to do that? So this is allowing you to take your next step from wholesaling into rehabbing and see what that looks like. Do you want to do it, right? Do you know what's all involved? Do you know the ins and outs of paperwork that needs to be done? Are you having independent contractor agreements signed? Do you have mechanics lien agents in place to protect you? What are you doing to make sure that everything is dotted I's and crossed T's so that you are very, very put together when doing these projects? So guys, today was a simple talk, nothing too crazy, nothing too long, but talking about if you're local to Hampton Roads, we're interested in looking at these deals with you. We're interested in JVing with you to make money together, right? So we're going to be at that 65 to 70% loan to value on your first one. If you're experienced, we might just be a little bit higher, knowing that you have the experience there and we can see and vet you and see what you've done. But if you're interested, reach out to us, PM me, and let's talk a little bit more about what you're looking to do. Otherwise, for those that watch this as a replay, thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. If anybody gives comments or feedback here later, I would love to see them on what you're currently doing in your market. And again, this is all Virginia, but I know we get a lot of other people in this group that get to watch these lunchtime lives. And also these are on YouTube. So if you would leave us a comment, if you need anything for the wholesaling side of things, please check us out at wholesalingoutofthebox.com. See some of our paperwork over there we have. There's a lot of things on that site, guys, that can help you get to where you're trying to go by being organized and keep you in the right direction, right? So thanks again for taking the time to watch us, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.